What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Today in this video, I will want to talk about the most controversial thing that's come out of the latest Genshin Impact live stream. Now, the Lunar One, Not Cry special program came out a few days ago, and so I've let this sit. And today, I want to talk about the Masterless Stella Fortuna, which is the item that is going to be used to take characters post level 90, so up to level 100. It's obviously caused quite a stir over the past few days, and so I want to talk about it because I think that this can be worrying. So just I want to let you know my thoughts on the entire situation. No face cam today because it is late, my hair is messy, so that's that. But yeah, we will talk about the new system in place. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so the Masterless Stella Fortuna, basically what happens is that if you have a copy of a character that's already at C6, you pull, let's say, for example, you have a C6 Chi-Chi, you pull another copy of Chi-Chi because you lost a 50-50, that copy will turn into, or will give to you this item called the Masterless Stella Fortuna. What this does is that it gives you your character, is an item that gives your character the chance to go past level 90. So if one of these will bring from 90 to 95, and then two will be needed for 95 to 100. Now, obviously, they'll as we all know, level increase obviously will increase the level cap, but not level cap, sorry, the stats. So your base attack, HP, and defense. But at the same time, it is stated that the abilities will also be enhanced. What this enhancements to the abilities means, what does it mean? New abilities for like your skill or your burst? We don't know. It could just be level 11, level 12. So whether or not that happens, we still don't know. There's not been confirmation on it yet. But I think what we can see is the level cap increase does gives you more stats. Obviously, this does not. It's just not only these two things, right? Level increases does reduce the level penalty, although from level 90 to level 100 it's not that big, so we won't talk so much about it. But obviously, you know, talking about transformative reactions, the damage does scale with level. From level 80 to 90, it's about 20 to 30%, I believe. I'm not a calculations guy, so don't ask me about this. But from level 90 to 95, from level 90 to 100, it is stated to be at about 40%. Now, whether it's going to be accurate, I'm not sure. But I will say it'll be 30 to 40% is quite a good ballpark, considering that reactions or the transformative reaction damage scales exponentially. So what this means is that per level, the increase will get bigger and bigger. So from 90 to 100 being a ballpark at about 30 to 40%, definitely I can see this happening, right? So it's going to be a big increase for these reactions, especially considering that Lunar Charge and Lunar Bloom are both reactions that are transformative, so they will definitely benefit, right? So you're putting for a llama, you're putting for Flint, or you already have a Nefer, this will definitely benefit your characters a lot. So damn, that's basically something for players to take note if you actually have the Masterless Stella Fortuna to bring characters post level 90. Now, the post also talks about things like, you know, if you already put copies of C6 characters, you will get back paid, you get refunded once the Lunar One, which is the new version, once it goes live. So that's basically that about Stella Fortuna. Not so much Masterless Stella Fortuna, right? So not nothing too much to say. There's a Q&A, but this is combined with the 4 constellations, which is something else that we probably talk about in the future. But my 2 cents on this is I don't think we've killed them to give like new characters, especially considering that, or not give new characters, allow you to claim new copies of like older characters. Like I don't have a C0, I don't have a Hu Tao at all, but I wouldn't mind getting a free Hu Tao. Like, okay, maybe Hu Tao's a bad example, but like I don't think you'll lose them a lot of money if you know, if people would pick up like a free Eula or free Klee. Like honestly, like not many people would, no one's gonna pull for them on if they're gonna get released on the banner or like the Chronicle Wish. So, you know, in this case, like why not just give it out for free, man? You can make money on like the newer characters, you can make money on like skins, you can make money on like even like new villets. of Arena, right? So some of these characters, the time has passed. So I think that yeah, free copy of older characters is fine, but whatever, right? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the constellation thing another time. So going back to this, so personally, I'm not going to be having any Masterless Stella Fortuna, but I mean, like I said, I'm sure that people who are watching this will probably have like a few to obtain once this goes live. Let me just show you my account for some context. So the closest characters I have to C6 are Jean, Chi-Chi, and Mona. Right, all these three characters, and most likely it's gonna be your standard characters going to have copies, right? No, it's gonna be insane to pull like C7 or C8 Mavuika, right? But anyways, yeah, so Jean, whereas Mona is also at C3, Chi-Chi is also at C3. I believe like my other standards, I think I have Kaching and Dea at C2, and then Dilu's at C0, and I believe Tainari is also at C0, and Mizuki as well. I got her from losing to Skirk, I believe. Yeah, so but that's besides the point. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of players who will have the opportunity to get this. First and foremost, I'm someone who played since like, so I started day one, quit until like 1.5, and then I started playing like quite a lot since then. Did take a couple of breaks, but my spending habits is basically Battle Pass, Welcome Moon. I did top up once, I believe, for Skirk, or is it Mavuika's weapon? Because I lost the weapon to Sitlali. But yeah, as you can see from my top ups, I have these two bonuses done. Yeah, I'll probably like buy this before like the top up bonus ends, or before the top up bonus comes around. But we'll see. Right, $148 is a lot of money. But anyways, that being said, so yeah, that being said, I think there'll be a lot of players who are in the same boat as me, who do not have. By the way, Capitano, you look great as always. But yeah, there are a lot of people who are in the same boat as me, who do not have the opportunity to get at least even one copy of this Masterless Stella Fortuna. Now, let's talk about the implications of the level cap increase, right? Because I think that obviously, we have a lot of people who are talking about how the devs are going to balance the content around level 100. Now, first and foremost, obviously that would be bad, right? Because that will mean that the content is going to be harder. But I really have quite bad HP inflation since Netland released, and it looks like it's going to continue from then. And then it comes to the limit of how much is it tolerable to players, right? Because first and foremost, it's just gonna make content like Abyss, Stygian Onslaught a lot harder. And even if you think about it, right, the worst of the game modes is gonna be affected. It's actually gonna be Imaginarium Theater, because first and foremost, they're already increasing the limit for the newest difficulty, which, back to the free constellation thing, like I believe they should give it the free copy of like a character they don't have. But that's not the topic for today, right? Like if they start balancing characters or start balancing content like Imaginarium Theater, which requires horizontal investment, to level 100, it's going to be like a lot more painful, because it's obviously a lot more characters that you have to consider. So that's obviously going to be a pain point, right? Where in Spiral Abyss, you could say that, okay, you bring one character to level 100, it can help carry, right? But the content like Imaginary Theater is not going to be the same. But with that being said, right, obviously that's the main criticism that I've seen people talk about this new system. For me personally, another thing I'll talk about is obviously the presence of this, right? Even if the content of the game is going to be balanced around level 90, the presence of this will definitely pressure people to like try to seek it out, right? Even if like level 90 is enough, having this system means that players who are who have addictive personality, they can't resist pulling. They see their friends, they see content creators have level 100 characters, and then they want to spend money for this. And you will say that obviously you don't do it, but how many people have how many have you seen, right? Let's put a good example, right? Digital Onslaught released for the first time in 5.7, right? And how many people have you seen go out of their way to spend money just to get the weapon skin? Because I've seen people who just put like C0, C1 skirt, and then they started to go like crazy and put C2 skirt, C6 skirt, C6 Mavuika just to get a weapon skin. And you will say like that's not you, but because and like I said, because there are people who have done that, because people are doing this for like weapon cosmetics, what makes you think that there won't be people who would do that for level 100? And I think that's really something that, you know, like I said, the presence of this, right? Like I know that I can never get the skins because I'm not going to spend for the skins, but because people have spent for the skins, I think that there will be people who will definitely want to spend for level 100 as well. And so obviously that's not really that good. I think that obviously that can be predatory by having it being present. So that's something that I think not many people talked about. Obviously, a lot of people talk about the implications of level 100 and the content getting to it. But the presence of this just makes it bad because people can be tempted by just like watching creators pull it, have level 100 characters or even their friends. So I think that's something that we have to really address. I think not many people have actually talked about this. They just are concerned about like, oh, content's gonna be hard. But there's also another implication is that even if the content's not gonna be hard, people are still going to do this. So that's really it. I think that at the same time, my issue with this is that going back to the point about like content not being like balanced around 100 and still being balanced around level 90, like then that comes like to the point of like, this was meant to be like an anniversary thing. Like it looked like an anniversary gift the way they framed it. But if it doesn't affect the gameplay, right? Then first and foremost, for people who are going to get access to level 95 or 100, they generally have copies of characters that are strong and they are going to already clear the content. So level 100 is kind of redundant for these people. At the same time, if the content is going to be balanced around like the aforementioned level 90, then does this mean that this whole system is kind of redundant in the first place for most players? Because like if people who have like C0R1 characters or even C0R0 characters are still going to be able to clear content, so what's the point of level 100 in the first place? Especially when framing this as an anniversary gift to the players. So I think that, you know, it just feels like a very weird present to give to the players. I think it's like they could have given like resources or use the resources for something else. Like ironically, I think that the system that is in the Honkai Star Rail, which is a game that I have a lot of criticisms for, actually does a better system of basically the currency is being used to buy like other characters, copies of other characters, and also like weapons as well, the light cones. So ironically, that's a better system than the level cap. So, and it's not that the level 100 is a bad thing. It's the way to access level 100 that is kind of stinky in my eyes. Well, stinky in my eyes sounds like a really, really weird, but say stinky in my nose is even weirder. But anyways, so yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole Stella Fortuna thing. I just think that it's kind of like weird that the two situations that we see is like content being catered towards level 100, which is obviously bad, but at the same time is like on the other spectrum is that if content isn't catered to the new level cap, then what is this for? Because the people who have access to level 100 don't need the level 100. So I just feel like a weird anniversary present. Like obviously that's the best case scenario, is that it's just a very weird and redundant anniversary present, but considering that they are so proud of it, just makes it feel very weird. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. I think that people who say that level 100 is going to doom the game, I think are exaggerating. But at the same time, to say that this isn't like a this is to say that this is a system with positives is also like a wrong thing to say, because there's not a lot of positives to this. Like if the biggest positive you think of it is that it's not going to affect gameplay, then is it really a good system in the first place? All right, so let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the entire situation, whether you agree, disagree, whether you think I'm overreacting, underreacting, and of course, if you're getting any of the Masterless Stella Fortuna, who are using them on. That's about it for this video. I do stream live on Twitch and YouTube, so Twitch link is down in the description below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, be good to yourselves and the people around you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.